Hello.
Well, hello. Is this Suzka?
Speaking.
Well, hey, Suzka. This is Scott Wood from the interview show.
Hello, Scott Wood. Nice to finally talk to you.
Exactly. How are you doing?
I'm good. How you been?
I'm doing all right. So, are you ready for an interview?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to talk right after this.
Okay. Hi, this is Suzka, and you're listening to the interview show with Scott Wood.
You know, she's the type of girl that opens up your mind, you know, to possibilities. Things just start happening.
Can we get higher? Anything is possible, so pass around in fire. Our spirit elementals and our spirit to inspire. Magic when it happens, we dance underneath a starry sky. Can we get higher? Anything is possible, so pass around in fire. Our spirit elementals and our spirit to inspire. It's so fitting that shit. Spirit seeing and spirits invisible. Drum circle that spirals, that's spiritual. Universal scriptures made literal. Super lyrical, true speech. Girls topless gone at the near beach. Some see some boy and number 2 chief. They come down but see that's too deep. Who needs gypsy girl? Changing my history. I see a gypsy girl. Tell me what's the mystery? I see a gypsy girl. Changing my history. I see a gypsy girl. Tell me what's the mystery? I see a
Welcome to the interview show. This is Scott Wood, your host. Today I'm talking on the phone with the sensational Suzka. Hi, Suzka.
Hi, Scott. Thanks for having me on here. Why are you laughing?
Well, you're welcome. You sounded a little out of breath there, a little bit like begrudging, like, oh, I had to answer this telephone call.
Oh, really? No, not at all. I was trying to find the phone, but you know when you're kind of concentrating into a beat and then you hear something outside of it. No, I want to get to the interview. I'm happy that you called.
Awesome. All right, you're listening to the interview show. This is Scott Wood, your host. You just heard The Force by Suzka. I would love it, Suzka, since I have her on the line with me right now, if she could talk about that track a little bit.
About The Force with Jaro. That was an instrumental track first, actually, and I went into the studio one day and just did this big, long solo, and we were like, oh, that's kind of neat. Let's just kind of keep it like that. And then I thought, it was all right, but I still wanted to hear an MC to it. So I sent it to my friend Jaro, who's an MC from Bermuda, and he happened to be in town. And yeah, he liked it, and so he started writing to it, and sent me, I think, a couple verses. He basically had the whole song done. I was like, oh man, that's great. It sounded so good. I'm like, but we only really need a verse. So we just took a verse out of it and put it in there. And yeah, that's the Force. That's how it came about. So yeah, I'm really happy with that track. I love it a lot. It's got a nice feel.
All right, you're a violin player. You collaborate with rappers. The music industry can be hard for even quote-unquote regular artists. So I'd love you to talk about what motivates you.
What motivates me? Pretty much just the passion that I've had for music ever since I started, when I was a kid, I guess. And then it's just kept on evolving and growing from there. And it's just something that at this point I can't really live without. So, projects keep coming up and I keep getting hired. So I guess I just keep working. And to be honest with you, I probably got really serious when I got my first check. When I placed like a first song, on a TV show, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I can make money at this.
Nice.
Yeah, that kind of was like, oh, this is fun, I'm having fun. So yeah.
All right. So speaking of having fun, you've played on stage with RZA. So I would love it if you could talk about that experience.
No, I'm not allowed to talk about it. I'm just kidding. No, it was great. It was purely by fluke. It was just one of those things that came up in my life, an opportunity. I was hanging out on a sunny day, and my friend Maestro Fresh Wes called me, and he said, I'm here backstage at Richards on Richards, and bring your violin. Riz is gonna play a show tonight, and they're jamming out. So I was like, okay. We went down there and met up with them and plugged in my violin, and I just played, and we jammed out for about 5 minutes. And by the end of it, RZA just looked at me, he's like, oh, you ready to play tonight? And I'm like, yeah. Totally freaking out, but totally excited at the same time.
Awesome. That sounds like it must have been an incredible experience. But what everybody really wants to know is what's it like backstage after the show?
I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you quite what happened back there. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's crazy. He's got a really amazing fan base. They were lined up outside of the bus. Just everyone was trying to get into this bus, and then, they grabbed us off stage, a security guard, and he was like, you got to come in, I wants to talk to you and stuff. I was like, okay. And as soon as we got in there, he was already in the middle of an interview, and, his whole family was there, and just really warm and welcoming, and yeah, it was fun. And then he had his other bus, too, that was just packed with all the musicians, and they were partying away and having a great time, too. So, yeah, I almost just got on the bus and didn't leave. I was like, hey, I'm going with you guys.
That's what everybody wants to hear. They want to hear that you woke up the next morning in Sacramento and couldn't remember anything.
Totally. I wanted to. I was like, I almost did, too. I was like, they were asking me, too. They're like, come on, jump on, your fam. I'm like, yeah, I wish I could. Hi, this is Suzka, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Yeah, we're too melodic for the Philharmonics. It's narcotic, yeah, we narcotic. We're too melodic for the Philharmonics. We narcotic, yeah, narcotic. She played the violins blazing on the song. I stepped on the podium, raising my baton. The crowd goes wild, fascinated cause I'm on. And everybody witnessing the making of a storm. It's the rap exodus, beats are dope enough to cause alarm and make the autumn sky open up. Legendary rhymes come from African hymns, combined with Czechoslovakian strings. The brass woodwinds, peep the metronome. The timpani's dope, but they lost patience. Harps break heartbeats, drop a semitone. The symphony's cool, but they lost cadence. We're too melodic for the Philharmonics. It's narcotic, yeah, we narcotic. The beats are psychotic, make you lose your composure. Peep the composer with the strings, now it's over. Yeah, we're too melodic for the Philharmonics. It's narcotic, yeah, we narcotic. Beats are psychotic, make you lose your composure. Peep the composer with the strings, now it's over.
Hi, this is Suzka, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
All right, you're listening to The Interview Show. This is Scott Wood, your host. You just heard Narcotic off the album Source by Suzka, featuring Canadian hip-hop legend Maestro Fresh Wes.
All right, this track came about from an idea I had for doing the pop song, classical pop song called Vivaldi, The Four Seasons. So we took one of the songs and turned it into that beat, and then when I sent the beat to Maestro, that's the one he chose. I sent him 3 beats, and that's the one he picked. And then he just started writing, and he called it Narcotic. So I'm like, all right, we'll call it Narcotic. But it's actually based on the 4 seasons. I think he picked autumn.
And so when you get a track back from Maestro Fresh Wes, and you listen to it for the first time, what does that feel like?
You're freaking out. I go, oh my God, I can't believe you just rapped on my stuff. Oh my God, that's so cool. Wow, I can't believe this is happening. He's just such a gracious person. Basically, he's been a fan ever since he came to a show of mine years before this show that I was telling about with the RZA. And he just kind of liked what I was doing and invited me to play a show with him there. And then ever since then, we were just friends. And basically, I told him I was working on this record, and he's like, well, send me some beats. And I was like, yeah, for sure. And I didn't even think anything of it, didn't ask him to be on it or anything. And he was like, I'm really feeling this. And I'm like, oh, really? Oh, well, if you're feeling it, feel free to do anything you like on it, and I'll trade, I told him the idea of, having classical music and using the 4 seasons, and then I just wanted a rhyme in there, and then have the violins come in and rhyme some more. And I just told him it'd be kind of experimental, and he was super down with that. So yeah, he liked it, and then hired me for his album after that. So I just finished doing like half his new stuff. Nice.
So what do you think got him turned on to putting violin in his music?
Oh, it's the maestro, man. It's the orchestra. I don't know. I think it's just a classical instrument, and it's not a lot of people, I guess, doing it the live feel. There's a lot of great producers that, mix violin strings great, but there's something different, I think, about the live element of it, and the fact that I kind of just come in treating it sort of more as horns, like I learn a lot from jazz players like Miles Davis and John Coltrane, and just years of listening to their phrasing and tone and all that is kind of what inspires me more. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, M83 is the famous track of last year where he used the saxophone in it, and it really made the track pop and become memorable. So I was wondering, thinking about you and the violin, why don't more musicians use the violin in the tracks to make them pop?
Who did you hear? I didn't hear the beginning of that, what you just said.
M83 last year had like one of the big tracks of the year was Midnight City by M83.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's an indie track with a saxophone in it.
Nice, yeah.
So I was going to relate that to you, Suzka, the violin, hip-hop. Mm-hmm. Why is it that you don't think there's more violin or more atypical musical instruments in popular music?
I don't know. It's kind of like, how many violinists do you know that play, and that are playing and doing their thing live?
Good point. So we're on the radio now.
How about you? Saxophone players too, right? Like I think about that. There's just not that many people I think that are just doing it and actually doing it all the time and doing it for a living and for the love of it.
Fair enough.
I think that's it. That's probably why. I don't know.
So if you were going to make a case for it, what would your case be?
A case? Like why people should have it in there?
Yeah. If you could have a meeting with the guys who decide what the big sounds are going to be for the next year, like the Katy Perry tracks or whatever, you'd be like, all right, guys, violin track, let's do it.
You need this because it's fire. It's just raw. It's raw strings. It's alive. It's vibrant. It's organic sounds that can't be, like I said, can't be bottled up. They can't be numbed down. Hi, this is Suzka, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Nations rise only to fall. Kings build mighty monuments only to have them crumble into dust. All these things have the seeds of death in them. Only a great truth can grow and flourish, and a truth cannot be killed.
Of the nonsense make me nauseous when they wash us down their content. Use my conscience to accomplish what my mom said. Conquer my conscience, shut them down like bomb threat. In the frame like a window pane. Things I say go over the strings she playing. Words creating and forming over beats we making. Free sensation of music in a deep rotation. My people trying to rise to the top. Flotation. I'm lethal with the beats and I drop in notation. Producers gotta go through claps like ovations to find the right ones for the raps on your station. Custom-made rusty Ginsu blade, known as the soul, and illuminates within that place. Target bound within where the chakras found, where vivid memories just seem to always walk around. Remember the place by smell, visual, and the taste, or a touch. Get a clutch on the image it makes. I try to wake up to bacon and eggs, maybe with steak, not thinking about making mistakes, living the moment. Kill it when you give in the moment. There's different opponents in life, putting gimmicks upon it. Brutally honest, I got it, not a novice reciting. I musically promise methodical, melodical writing for my people.
Hi, this is Suzka, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
All right, you're listening to The Interview Show. This is Scott Wood, your host. I'm interviewing Suzka. We just heard her song Truth from the album Source, featuring local MC Emotionz. Suzka, I'd love it if you could tell us a little bit about that track.
Truth came to me actually probably in the middle of the night. I already went to bed, and I woke up and I just kept having this melody, this hook in my head, and I was just like, oh my God, it's driving me crazy. I think I actually got up and recorded it. So just so I had it for the next day. And then the next day I called up my producer and I said, we got to do something with this. And I came in, I played it for him, and he just started building a beat around it, and then we just had this sort of heavy, dark sound. I'm like, wow, where are we going with this? And and then same thing, we just needed an MC, and we thought of Emotionz just because he's He's got a really great soul sound, and he ended up liking it and writing to it, and that's how that came about.
All right, so on this record, Source, you work with several different MCs, so I was hoping you could talk about where you found your collaborators.
Emotionz happens to be a super talented Vancouver MC who just fit the vibe of the track. That particular one, he just has the right kind of soul for it, and yeah, that's the one that both Vago, my producer, and I felt that would be good for his style. It's pretty intuitive, actually. Yeah, I pretty much just go by the vibe and what the voice is. Obviously, people that I know and that are in my circle help too. You know, it's nice to just feel comfortable with a person and know that, you know, they want to work with you too. That's always nice. But I did have a few people in mind. I approached Shad, and you know, some people just kind of didn't know who I am or whatever and didn't care, and like whatever, you know. So I didn't take it personally or anything. It's just, it is what it is, right? So yeah, I think the right people come along, and then it works out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, back in the day when I met you, Suzka, you were in a world fusion band called Tambura Rasa, or you played with them. We'll say it that way.
Yes.
So I was hoping you could talk about the difference between world fusion music and hip-hop from a violinist's perspective.
Wow. Well, the World Fusion Band was really fun, but it was a lot of just constant playing. It was just a lot of noise, a lot of things at once, and it was just pretty purely to get people to dance. So we would just try to rock shows hard and just get energy going, and really festive and fun. I think just for what I'm doing now is more organized chaos, I guess, with the beats, and I just, because I'm doing songs that I get to compose myself, so I'm kind of more in the creative process as well. Whereas in the World Fusion Band, I was doing sort of standards and someone else's compositions, which was really fun, but just different. Yeah, I learned what I needed to learn, and then, you know, you kind of got to go off and keep it moving and keep it interesting. I'm not the kind of artist that can stay in the same band and play the same songs over and over again. It just doesn't work for me, so, you know, I just keep it interesting.
Gotta challenge yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I like playing with DJs too, because you can just improvise on a song just like that, and it's like brand new for everybody, and you just don't know what's going to happen next. And I kind of like that element of music. It keeps it fresh for me, you know.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we were emailing, setting up this interview, you emailed me and you said, "It's been quite a journey so far, and yet I feel very fortunate to still be in this game." Now, that sounds like the quote from somebody who's like 80 years old and it's on the back of their autobiography.
Yeah, I am. You didn't tell your audience I'm 80.
Well, I've seen pictures, so I know that's not the case.
No, yeah, oil volée is amazing. What was the question?
I was just hoping that you could, you know, you're still very young, so
Yeah.
I was hoping you could explain that quote.
What did I say? I can't remember.
You said, "It's been quite a journey so far,
Oh, yeah.
and yet I feel very fortunate to still be in this game."
I know what I was referring to. I guess just the fact that, yeah, I've been doing it for 10 years, and like I said, I keep making money and keep getting booked, and it's just, I think, always a surprise, you know? You do something, and you play, and you just think, oh, are people really enjoying this? Oh, do people really need what I have to offer, you know? You want to make sure it's also a niche that, you know, people are interested in, right? And that's what I'm saying, that it's kind of neat to have something that's original and different, you know? I think that's what keeps it going and working for me.
Absolutely. I was talking about you to one of my friends today, and he heard what you did, and he's like, "Oh yeah, she's classing up hip hop," and I wanted to get you to react to that quote.
I like that. That's great. Classing it up. Nice. Yeah, I think that's an interesting way of putting it. Yeah, I say why not? I mean, that's the whole point of music, right? Is to keep mixing and blending. And I think if you're not doing that, then it's not growing as an art.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I mean, I grew up on classical music, so that's what I know the most, and that's kind of, I grew up in a household of that. So when I pair that with really great beats, which is another love of mine, it's just really fun for me to kind of make it work and figure it out, and the energy is it's just become my passion. So yeah, I find it interesting all the time, every song, you know, every beat.
Well, I'm glad that you're out there, and I'm glad you're adding stuff to hip-hop and all types of music.
Well, thanks.
Suzka, it's been great having you on the show tonight. I would love it. At the end of the show, I get the artist to pick a track off their current repertoire and talk about it as I bring up the music.
Okay. It doesn't matter. No, play anyone. Either one of anyone. Doesn't matter.
Okay, so then how about would you say you chose Sparks?
Okay, yeah. So Sparks is a fun little project that came about from Bago basically producing the beat, and he had some string lines that he sort of came up with, and I was like, yeah, let's do a little differently, and we added some more live strings to it, and then what happened next? Oh yeah, and then my friend Bukue, who I'd gone on tour with a little bit earlier in LA, he was on Twitter, and he was just in his hotel room, I guess, and he's like, hey, I'm kind of bored. Does anyone have a beat out there or something? Or next beat that someone sends me, I'll rap on. And I was like, hey, try this one. And I sent it to him, and he literally did it in his hotel room there, sent it back to me, and it was just ridiculous. I'm like, oh my God, this is so great. I'm putting this on the album. And he's like, okay, sounds good. And then ever since then, people have been like, hey, can we get the full-length version of that? I'm like, yeah, I guess. And we haven't really got around to that yet, but hopefully we will. So that's kind of what happened there.
Wow, that is an awesome story behind a track.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
So we're going to hear Sparks by Suzka featuring, and how do you say the MC's name?
Bukue.
All right, featuring Bukue. All right, Suzka, I appreciate your time tonight.
Thanks for having me on here.
No worries.
All right, have a good night. Hi, this is Suzka, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Always impressed, pleasantly surprised every time. Damn, I'm liking this. Suzka, check it out. You got a good taste in music. You got the top celebrity caliber with no bull-ish, pro-ish, no amateur, no additives or preservatives, just raw, organic-ish, pure. Make the head nod till the neck crooks. No need for vocals, let Suzka kill the hook with strings that bring the dead back to life. Like Osiris with his Isis, that's Bukue on the mind. Earth sign by design, so I feel these beats that earthquake remind folks of gravity. What goes up will come down, whether underground or world renowned. Universal law does not discriminate. Let's wake up the people, it's time to elevate. Upward escalate.